Representing life and its hardships, the ocean is a powerful force. It may seem calm and peaceful on the surface, but it can also become raging, even deadly, in an instant. Kind of just like life itself, each wave representing the sudden obstacles that come our way. It's purely based on how you discipline yourself to handle this thing called life. How's it, guys? Just doing some surfing here. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I'm actually a pro surfer. I've been winning competitions since I was about 4. Won world championships in Germany, Lesotho, Zimbabwe. And the key thing about winning champs and being a surfer is balance. Gotta make sure you maintain that balance. Balance between the physical, spiritual, and biological. Today, it's all about the waves, the water, and the surf. How's my posture? Good. You like it? Guys, so I'm here at the 9 Miles Project. Not to be confused with 8 Mile, that's a film with Eminem. But this is 9 Mile. They go the extra mile. They're a youth and community development program that takes surfing and use it to change the lives of young people. That sounds pretty cool, so let's go check it out. I feel like I'm in a little cozy, you know, like kind of downtown little workshop, but I'm basically at the beach.
Yeah.
How did you guys, I mean, tell the viewers at home, what is 9 Miles and how do we end up in this place?
So, I grew up surfing 9 miles and it changed my life. And I saw that, you know, sometimes we get caught up with the recreation sport, but we don't extract the lessons from it. So I had to draw back to my life to say, why was I engaged with soccer? And then I realized soccer taught me to work in a team, to celebrate with the person that scores a goal, to encourage the person that is disappointed and misses an opportunity. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then I played some chess. And then I was like, why did I get into chess? Chess taught me to think strategically, because that's how you beat your opponent with 4 or 5 moves. And then I got into surfing, and I said, what lessons does surfing produce in my life? And I was like, okay, I told the friends, I can't party tonight because I must surf the next morning. So it produced a discipline. I had to get up early, I had to prepare my equipment, I walked down to the beach. I couldn't just paddle out, I had to be focused. So where we surfing, where's the waves breaking? And then of course, I can't just go into the water. I first have to stretch, because if I'm not warm, there's gonna be injury. And then of course, I also purpose in my heart to make it to the back line. But of course, the waves are not like, hey Nigel, we're about to break, are you ready for us?
Yeah.
You know, and so the same thing in life. Life happens, you know, regardless of your station or where you're at, you know, you just have to adapt and manage. And so going through the ocean, you build resilience, determination, perseverance. And when you come at the back line, now which wave to take? So it started to produce quality decision making. And I took all these values and principles and I said, I love young people. There's no youth programs in my community. There's no youth interventions in my community. My friends went to gangsterism, some are on drugs still today. And I said, let's do something. And so I took surfing and I took my love and passion for young people. And I thought, let's bring this thing together.
Man, that is amazing, bro. I'm almost getting tears in my eyes. Hearing a story like this, you could have been one of those statistics of a gangster.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's really, that's hit me. I love that.
Awesome.
Where did this come from, this drive in you? Why aren't you one of those people who ended up in a gang? What about you made you decide to make a difference?
So, of course, the social ills was in my life. You know, it was a space. We were in a community where it's difficult to get out. You know, and of course, coming to the beach was a good escape to get out. But of course, I had to still go home. So I was engaged with certain social ills, but surfing always kind of assisted me to break free from it, where I wasn't entrenched or super deeply entangled in it, alcohol, drugs. But surfing always gave me the empowerment side of things. But I also realized it's also not enough. I needed more help, And
would you say that was almost a time when you like met Jesus or something like that?
Yeah. So definitely met Jesus.
Wow.
Back in the day, it's a lie of the enemy to say that, that church is not cool. Or we go to church and we maybe just see people praying, reading the word, and it doesn't appeal to youth or young adults because there's so much opportunities out there, There's so much things out there, so why should I choose this path? And there was just 2 people in my life that changed their lives. And I was like, awesome, but yet they still stayed connected to the people around them.
I love it.
And I thought, this is different, right? And that kind of, I just watched their lives, and that kind of really impacted me. And then they invited me to youth one day. And I still told my friends that night, I said, I don't want to go to youth. Guys, I got some money, I'm going to buy us a bottle. Let's drink it up. And these 2 friends actually said, hey, no, Nigel, I got something. I'm busy with something. And so I was like, okay, guys, yeah.
It's like God parting the Red Sea, actually, taking those 2 friends away so you can walk down it.
And I thought, okay, let me go to this house, let me check out this youth thing, And I went there, and the guys were praising and worshiping, and I was like, and I felt this warm feeling. And I was like, what is this, And then, while everybody was engaged, I had this friend, Denzel, and I said, bro, like, I'm feeling this. What is this, man? And he's like, bro, this is Jesus. He's knocking on your door. But he's a gentleman. He will not force himself in. You must let him in. And he just left it there.
Power.
And the worship went on, and I was like, yo, man, I want to let him in. And I said, Denzel, I want to let him in, And ever since that day, I never looked back.
Sure. So 13 years ago is when you kind of encountered Jesus.
Yeah.
And then you were fiery for him. And then only after, 7 odd years, then he actually gave you the fulfillment of that vision.
The go ahead. I think with the Lord is looking for faithful stewards, and of course He gave me a small group of young people to look over, to oversee, to empower, to be there for them, to care for them, to love them, to guide them, and then from there He gave me young adults, a bigger group, more dynamics, and then from there He said, now I can trust you with a community.
Marcheleno Anthony is one of the young adults that joined the 9 Miles program. This kid never surfed before in his life. And now he's way better than me. In surfing, of course. Marcheleno!
Yes.
The man I've heard a lot about. I'm Howard. How you doing?
I'm Marcheleno. Good.
Good to meet you, man.
Good to meet you too.
Bro, so tell me a little bit about how 9 Miles has impacted your life.
9 Miles, it has impacted my life tremendously. Ever since I've been a part of 9 Miles Project, I've seen life more in a positive view. So, meaning I've always, 9 Miles Project has taught me to be a dreamer, an achiever, and to be a leader. So when I came to 9 Miles Project, first, before I even got into the surfing, I've never really been active in other sports. I've never been playing soccer, rugby, and stuff like that. So never really had a hobby or sport.
You weren't really like a sporty kind of guy, and then you
Yes.
just fell into surfing.
Yes, and I love the ocean. It's beautiful, and this is the one place where I can go to and just express myself. It's for me, it's an escape from society.
What have some of the struggles been in your own life?
I faced a lot of struggles through my life. For example, my mom, she dated a boyfriend, and just I saw this abuse. He was abusing my mom and stuff
Horrible,
like
man.
it's terrible stuff. But I stayed close to God, and that's the one thing that kept me strong, to stay close to Jesus. Otherwise, if I had to let my circumstances get the best of me, where would I have been? When I'm in the ocean, I'm not thinking about what happened at home. I'm not thinking about all the homework, what I got at school. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just focusing on catching the next wave and riding it finish and owning it.
And how does the ocean remind you of Jesus?
The waves is an example of his love. It keeps on coming, no matter what sin I've done, no matter what I've done in God's eyes, he still loves me and still sees me as his son and righteous.
Come on. So we're going to see you get on those waves and ride them right now.
Yes.
Are you ready for it?
No,
It's a little
yes.
bit cold, I'm not going to lie. I don't envy you. I'm going to sit here in my warm jeans and jacket, and I'm going to see you run in the water and do your thing.
Yes.
All right, well, go for it, my man. Tell me a little bit now, bringing it in here to what you guys do with these kids, with these people in 9 miles.
Yeah.
Is it training? Is it empower? Like, what is it on a day-to-day
So
level?
we have a strong component on education. So it's an after-school program in the week. Then art. As you can see, the space is colorful.
I love it.
It's nice. And what we found about art, not just here, but we started to bring art into their communities. And through visual art, we saw that it actually decreases crime. Because the gangster or the person who wants to go do a negative thing, he walks past a beautiful flower, and in this flower says, "You were born for a purpose." You know, and he reads that. And
It preaches to him.
And it preaches to him, and he sees the positivity, and he's like, I actually don't want to do this. Because in every person there is that good, you know? And so we do a strong focus on arts and culture to be a lifestyle with the children. And then, of course, it's a beautiful planet we're living on. But through many things, our planet is taken advantage of. So we have a strong environmental component because we want to raise up environmental custodians through these children.
Love that.
So it's a holistic project, and when we adopt a child, we adopt a household, and then we adopt a community.
Your story reminds me of a story I heard about two men who are both chipping away at these big blocks of concrete. And you go up to the first man and you say, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm just chipping away at this block."
Yeah.
And then you go up to the second man and you say, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm building a cathedral." And in the same way, it almost feels like that, you know, that's understanding the perspective that one little block is going to fit into this giant structure.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing here. You know, you've got a block, you're being faithful with the block God's given you.
Yeah.
And that's going to go into this generational solution for Mitchell's Plain and your community.
And I think it's definitely having that one heartbeat. I think unity is very important to achieving things. There's a lot of people that's competitive against each other, but yet they want to achieve the same goal. At the end of the day, there's one goal, and everybody's trying to achieve. And instead of being in competition with everyone, collaborate.
I know you guys love to collaborate with a lot of people, Kingdom Longboards being one of them. Tell me a bit about why you guys collaborate with Dan, and what do you use, tell me about the boards.
Yeah, Daniel just has been such an amazing blessing towards the project. Just amazing stuff he does with wood, you know, even empowering some of our kids to show them some skills, you know, always being open. And I think the reason why we connected, and he also connected more with us, is that he saw that we were less talk and more action. He saw that there's actually fruit here.
Come on.
He saw that there's lives actually being changed here. He saw that we actually take personal interest in not everyone, but each one. You know, there's a difference. At the same time, he wanted to align his business and his heartbeat for the kingdom with ours, you know, because of that one love, that knittedness, and just for the unity.
Good morning, everyone. We're here with Daniel from Kingdom Longboards, having fun. Kidding. Alrighty, so... But thanks for having us in your really cool workshop here at Kingdom Longboards. In a nutshell, tell me, what is Kingdom Longboards?
So basically, it's just about myself. I'm 24 years old. I've been running Kingdom Longboards for 6 years now.
Wow.
Started in 2012, so it's been quite a journey. Lots of ups and downs, and I didn't think I'd get this far. Didn't even think that I'd be like owning a skateboard brand. And I think for myself, the biggest thing is it was God's plan and not my plan.
Amazing.
If I had my plan, I would have been traveling overseas on yachts and working.
Doing the whole, like, millennial thing where you just travel to Thailand and Bali on a yacht. It's not a bad idea. I mean, for those of you doing that, tune in via the internet.
Yeah, I feel like nothing's ever wasted. So I've done a whole bunch of yachting courses when I finished school, and I was doing life-saving and teaching windsurfing. So that's kind of where my heart is, like in the ocean. But to be brought to skateboarding and like manufacturing things and woodwork, it's been quite a unique journey.
And tell me, what is a longboard for those who watching at home? Because to me, this isn't very that long. This is kind of more like a short board.
Yeah, it's a very good question. So the name just stuck being Kingdom Longboards, but now that we've diversified quite a lot, so longboard would be something that's more for cruising, so not so much trick skating.
Is this a longboard?
That would be a surfboard. Just to get longboard surfboards as well. So we're busy working on some wooden hollow core longboard surfboards. So yeah, it's been a tricky one. We're actually in the process of a bit of a name change, hence Jesse working with our brand. So we're going to be like changing it to Kingdom Custom Boards, because we focus a lot on customizing boards, and there's a variety of boards, so longboards is only a specific.
Got you. It kind of locks you down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you're not changing the kingdom part. Tell me a little bit about that kingdom. Is that like the kingdom of...
Good question. Everybody always asks, they say, is it King Dom, because my surname's Demancy.
Not bad. Nice little play on words there.
Yeah. So my life changed around in matric, which is my final year of school.
What happened in matric?
God just changed my life, man.
For real?
Yeah. So I think it was such a unique time in my life for that to happen at that specific time. Yeah. Because that's like, everybody's like, oh, party, go crazy. And it's like, you know, they say like your 20s is the best part of your life, or from when you're 18 and you can do what you want as such because you're legal. But in that time, it was like, if I'm going to do something for God, it's going to be all for him, you know. There's no like half measures or sitting on the fence. So
would you say that was a time that you kind of, what, Jesus saved you? Would that have been like a born again time for you?
When I got saved. So I think the journey for me growing up, I grew up in like church and grew up in a Christian home, which was awesome. So all the like beliefs and everything was there, and you feel that conviction from the Holy Spirit, but it's not really true, you know. I think each person needs to figure out their own salvation, and it's a personal step, and I think too many parents force their kids into it as well, which also sometimes doesn't have a good outcome, because by the time you turn 18, you just want to rebel against everything and turn things upside down because you've been forced into a little square, you know.
Yours was the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, and then with that, my dad always told me one thing, so it'd give me the freedom to, if I wanted to do something, he's like, you have to live with the consequences. You got one father, and that's your Father in heaven. And it's like, I can tell you what to do on this earth, and I can guide you and lead you, but like at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions, and I can't force anything on you.
Your dad sounds wise.
Yeah, very
sounds like
wise.
Yoda.
Yeah. I think at the time I was like score, because he was pretty much giving me a free pass to do what I want. So I was like, yeah, sick. I'll just be like, I'm going to do this and do that.
You had one conversation with your dad, and that led to you getting saved by Jesus. What was that conversation?
So the conversation it was that which was on my heart for all the years. So basically he sat me down and he said, look, like you've got this free pass to make your own decisions in life. I can't force you as a father, but I just want you to promise me one thing, and that one thing is that I'll see you one day in heaven. And I think the beauty in it is that it was something that wasn't forced. It was something which was like genuinely shared out of love. And for something like that to really just show in my life, and, you know, to have my parents behind me and encouraging me in anything I was doing. So even though they could see I was off the path that they wanted for me, they still just loved me and encouraged me on that. So I think the journey with that is I wish that I'd understood my passion from an earlier age, and there's a lot of people that are challenged with what is their passion, what is their gifting. It's also what's kept me humble and kept me grounded to actually spend time in the shaping bay alone with myself and with God. And it's also a form of worship for me when I'm standing away at a board and, you know, putting in stuff that like a normal person wouldn't see the difference. But for me, like, each board is unique, and adding that authenticity to it and crafting that for our client.
That's really cool. It's a great thing to say that you in the shaping bay, you call it the shaping bay.
Yeah.
You in the shaping bay, busy working on a new board, and you kind of feel God's presence while you're doing that. It's an act of worship. I love that.
Awesome. Yeah, I think for me it's an awesome journey to be a part of something like that and to have that experience. But in that process, I think mostly I'm just thinking of who the board's for and their life journey and the questions I ask them when they come and get their board and the experience that they get to have. And what's awesome is the amount of times that people actually ask me about Kingdom. So for me, it's more about people asking than me telling people this is who Kingdom is, or this is what Kingdom is.
And what do you do with 9 Miles? Do you just provide them with boards, or do you go and coach them how to?
So where we are right now, for the last year, I've been a lot more involved. So we drive up to Elands Bay, so we take all the kids from all the core leaders from Strandfontein up to Elands Bay, where we've started outreach, which we've been there, I think, for a year now, stand to correction. And recently in December, we done a campaign to get skateboards to the kids. So it had such a unique impact on the kids that they can use it as a means of transport's the one thing, and the other thing is just keeping out of, as much as they've been getting into nonsense skating, like, it's keeping them, at least they're active and have a lot of adrenaline skating, and it's, it gets them out of their house and away from, like, a lot worse things. So it's awesome knowing that they're skating their boards, they're not sitting inside on computers or on phones or...
That's inspiring, man. Thank you so much for having us in your workshop, chatting to you in the flesh. You did a great job. I don't know why you were nervous.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll see you on the road soon. I might take one of these guys for a spin.
Yeah, go for it.
Alrighty.
Cool.
I got it on camera. I'm going to take one for a spin. There we go. My spin is complete and I will leave. So I love how you draw all of these real life parallels from surfing and from everything that you're involved in. How does surfing and the discipline that you've learned from that relate to your own spiritual life?
One thing about the mountain and the ocean, you will find it's not man-made. So when you encounter it, you encounter God because it's alive and it cannot be tampered with. And that's why you see many people will just take a walk on the beach and they will feel calm. People will just stare at the ocean and they will kind of feel God. They will sense God. And so for me, when I'm in the ocean there, I'm like in His hands, And of course, just being there, being in the water, going under the wave, one feels that cleansing. One feels that refreshing, reviving, because in surfing, you cannot think about all the things that went wrong. You can only focus on that wave in that moment, in that time. So everything else just empties your mind, and you just come to a place of wholeness. You come to a place, you're so enriched, man. You're so encouraged, and we see it with a child's life, A child might start in the beginning, in the front part, and you will see they start building confidence. They can go further. And you find when they go further in the ocean, they go further in life.
Thank you for this conversation. I'm leaving here with a lot more than I started with. I feel inspired. I feel I want to go and make a difference in my own little street.
Awesome.
I'll start with each one, not everyone.
Awesome.
Nigel,
thanks for having me.
Thanks so much, man.
Awesome.
All the best. Guys, what an inspiring time being able to meet Nigel and hear his story of how, as a young man, he was surfing right here at 9 Miles Reef. And while he was doing that, already at that stage, there was this seed that started growing in his heart for what would become the 9 Miles Project. He didn't know it at that early age, but God was already planning something with his life. And the same is true with Daniel from Kingdom Longboards. As a young man, his father spoke to him and said, I want to see you in heaven one day. And that conversation ended up changing the course of his life to launch eventually Kingdom Longboards and impact hundreds of people around the whole world, as well as 9 Miles Project. And it's so cool. Like, you never know what your life is going to end up being. But I want to say, if you're watching this right now and you've got a dream in your heart as well for God to do something bigger than yourself, take that dream and give it to Him and say, God, go for it. Trust in you, Jesus. And the same is true with what you say and your words. You don't know that you might be speaking a dream into somebody that in a few years' time will only come to pass. So use your words wisely. They're powerful. They can give life and they can create futures for people. Guys, that's all I've got time for right now. I'm going to go and find a warm bath and get nice and cozy. But please, drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Everybody said especially felony. And every day she sits and asks herself, how did I let it go? But there's something in this life she'll never know. Jared had a plan. Jared had a plan to crash the drone into the sand, make some extra cash. The end.